Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today we need to revisit the PlayStation next gen upgrade fee. Um, after playing the DLC for Ghost of Tsushima, the Iki Island DLC, I've come to realize that PlayStation is really overcharging us for this content for the what how would I say it, the fact that they're charging us $10 to upgrade our experience on PlayStation 5, and then kind of like half-assing it, not really going out of their way to really enhance the visuals as much as one would expect. I mean, we have to ask ourselves, like, when is enough enough? I mean, like, I don't feel like I am part of an ecosystem when it comes to PlayStation anymore. I literally feel like a bank card, and the quality that I'm receiving for that money lately, just, I don't think it's there. And I mean, this is a long time coming. I mean, everything on the PlayStation 5 that I've bought to date, for the price that I've paid for it, I don't feel like the value has necessarily been there. I mean, if you look at Demon's Souls, yeah, it's a great game, but I mean, $50 should have been the price for that. I mean, if you look at Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, they shouldn't have raised the price $10 more for that. It should have been $50, $59.99. You got Returnal, that's a good $50 game. All these upgrade fees that they're charging us for each and every one of these games they update. I mean, $10. Ghost of Tsushima has been out for a year. It's been out for a year. It's already been on sale a couple of times. For them to charge us another $30 for this DLC and upgrade for the PlayStation 5, that's half of what we paid for the original game. That's exactly half of what we paid for that if we bought it on the PlayStation 4. I'm being generous when I say I got 5 hours of gameplay out of the new DLC. It wasn't bad by any means. It was great. Like, I really did like it. I enjoyed myself. It honestly, sitting through it, it went by so quick that I was that engaged with it that it went by pretty quick. And I would be remiss if I didn't say, yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed with the lack of story content that I actually got out of that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you explore every nook and cranny on Iki Island, and you find every collectible, and you do every side quest, you might be able to stretch that to like 15 hours. I'm going to go with 10. I'm going to go with 10 hours because that island is pretty small. It's about half the size of the original first area. When you first get into the game, it's about half that size, maybe a little bit less. I don't think it was a bad upgrade or anything, or a bad update. Like, the content in it for the story part was pretty good, actually. I really enjoyed that. But $30 for 3 to 5 hours of gameplay, because I've seen other estimates that it's about 3 hours, and I was being a little bit generous, I mean, when I said 5 hours, I mean, my playtime started at 44.51 hours, so I had almost 45 hours, and my exact finish time was 49 hours exactly. So, I mean, if you want to do the math on that, that's like 3 hours and like, I don't know, 9 minutes or something, or yeah, 3 hours and 9 minutes. So that there just goes to show you that, I mean, I was being generous. I really was. I mean, 5 hours, I mean, I guarantee you could get 5 hours out of this DLC by just doing some of the side quests and doing the main stories. So if you're like me and you just get into the game and you consume it, I mean, I will spend more time in Ghost of Tsushima running around the island now that it's 4K and upgraded on PlayStation. But here's where I draw the line though. Like the upgrades that we got for the PlayStation 5 version of Ghost of Tsushima are pretty bare minimal. We got, instead of 1800p checkerboard, now we got 4K checkerboard at 60 frames a second. We got the haptic feedback that is, I mean, for the most part, it's pretty decent. Like you still don't, like when you're running around across the ground, you don't feel that like, you don't feel your footsteps like you did in Astro's Playroom. Like that's not there. It basically doesn't, you don't feel anything unless you jump or you're riding a horse or you're using the bow and arrow or just other things, you know, like sword fighting, you'll feel like the clank and whatever. Like there are some things to it, or like when you use your grappling hook to, I mean, yeah, you're gonna feel like certain things like that, but it's not as earth-shattering as you might think. You know, the haptic triggers actually feel pretty decent on this. They they feel good and give you enough resistance, you know, to be able to accomplish what they need to do. Like it's kind of cool. I wouldn't say it's super immersive or anything by any means, but it does definitely feel pretty good for the most part. What I'm talking about, like what I'm really trying to get at, and I mean this is impromptu, I'm not reading from a script or anything like that. What I'm getting at is the fact that the PlayStation 5 comes out and then it's a pain in the butt to get one for everybody. They've pushed back all the new games that were supposed to basically be coming out this year. They've dropped, you know, Returnal, which I mean, that is a very niche title, and they dropped that way overpriced. I mean, it was way overpriced for what that game is. And then you get Ratchet and Clank, which is, you know, another, I mean, a pretty decent 10-hour experience. You know, I mean, I would say it was a pretty decent 10-hour experience. You might be able to get a little more, but what I'm saying is $70 for this game. If you play that and you beat it in 10 hours, and you bought it digitally, like that kind of sucks, man, because you cannot go trade that in for anybody else to be able to pay a lower price and get to experience that too. You're stuck with that experience, and if you got 10 hours, like there's no reason on earth to go back into Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart and play that anymore. Ghost of Tsushima, the only thing different about that is it's a big open world, so you can run around and explore and see stuff you haven't seen and find find secrets and stuff. I'm not saying that you can't run around in Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart and find secrets. Yeah, you can, but you're not going to get $70 worth of like enjoyment out of that. Like I find myself remiss to find any more enjoyment out of that game than I already got. Yeah, I mean, visuals, beautiful visuals can only go so far, but the most beautiful part of it was the 4K with the ray tracing at a stuttery 40 frames per second if you have 120 hertz display, or 30 frames per second, and that is just not that great of an experience unless you're standing still. Like if you're standing still, yeah, everything looks great. But when you start moving, it seems so jerky, and the pacing is just, it feels different. Once you've started playing more games at 60 frames a second, like you'll understand. Like I've been a PlayStation guy for as long as I can remember. Since the very first PlayStation, since I first got that and I got Need for Speed and a couple of other games, I was hooked. I was on PlayStation bandwagon the whole way. It was not until the PS4 Pro, until the Xbox One X came out, that I started seeing through the cracks, because before that I never even really gave like Xbox a chance. But yeah, dude, like fast forward to now, and I mean, I feel like the value that we're getting with the PlayStation experience is not there. It's not there anymore. It is so far gone that like I don't know what to think. I mean, we get the bare minimum when it comes to PlayStation, and everything we get, there's a cost to it. We have to pay for that. We have to pay for every little thing. We have to pay $500 for a system that has less SSD space It has less power than the competitor. I mean, right now it's holding its own pretty good because I mean we're still in the cross-gen period. But when you think about it, like we're really paying for, I mean, for the SSD that's in that PlayStation 5 like right now. Yeah, it's got six lanes of travel or whatever, but dude, my Samsung's holding its own, and it only told me I'm getting like 5600 megabytes of read speed a second, and like some things are performing a little bit better off of the SSD that I bought than they are on the PlayStation SSD itself. I do not think that the PlayStation 5 this generation, if they keep going this way, then they're going to lose a lot of people. They're going to lose a lot of people that really, really care about PlayStation, especially with Xbox breathing down their throat, offering free upgrades for games. I mean, I just literally had to buy another. I mean, this does suck on Xbox's part. I just literally had to buy a second one of these so that I can put all of my Xbox Series XS enhanced games on a memory card. I mean, yeah, they're only 1 terabyte, and that really does suck because I really hate the fact that I have to unplug one and plug one back in. Like that does kind of suck. Like I'm a little bit irritated with that, to tell you the truth. I would much rather just have a 4 terabyte card that I could stick in there and download my stuff to. But the fact of the matter is I have almost exactly 3 terabytes of storage on my Xbox now for next gen games, and I still need to buy more. I still need to buy more storage because I do not have enough room. On the PlayStation, like, yeah, like this really sucks, man. I can't believe that we are at this point with PlayStation to where they are feeling high and mighty enough to where I mean, come on, guys. Come on. Like, I'm being 110% honest with you. I love PlayStation, and I do not want them to fail. I love my PlayStation first-party exclusive games. I've been a PlayStation gamer for as long as I can remember. Like, that's not a joke, man. I have been there in PlayStation's corner. But what they are doing this generation, right out of the gate, pushing all of our games back that we should be getting on PlayStation 5, when they talk about we believe in generations, and then they push everything back, and then they put it all on PlayStation 4, and then they charge us upgrade fees for games that they should be like, hey man, sorry we screwed up, we're pushing this stuff back, so here, let's give you an upgrade fee so that you can take advantage, or let's give you an upgrade so that you can take advantage of your PlayStation 5 hardware and see what this thing really can do. Because by the time Xbox starts launching their next gen first party games, like, there's going to be a gap. Halo's going to come out, and Halo's going to look amazing. I mean, we've already seen what the whole world looks like on Flight Simulator. That's pretty dang good for the whole world. Like, I'm glad, I'm happy with the way that looks, because it could have looked a lot worse. And then you have, Forza Horizon 5. That game is gorgeous. It's beautiful. And I mean, that's a cross-gen game. It's going to be running, on last gen and next gen. When we start getting true next gen games from the Xbox ecosystem, from Bethesda and all the other developers, like, we're going to be looking back at this time and we're going to be like, wow, dude, what was Sony thinking? How can they go out of their way and just treat us like a bank card, man? Like, that's how I feel when it comes to PlayStation. I've got $2,000 into that PlayStation 5. Actually more, because I just bought Guilty Gear Strive and some other games that I've been buying, the DLC. So I'm almost at like $2,200 on PlayStation 5, and I got another 3 hours, almost 4 hours of gameplay out of Ghost of Tsushima. Guilty Gear Strive, yeah, I'm gonna try to play it because I paid for it. Now I did that for a fan, or for one of my subscribers, to check it out because he swears up and down that it's great. And like, I like fighting games. I just don't know if I'm into that fighting game, but I will play through the story and experience that, because I spent the money on it, so now I at least need to get through that. All I'm saying, guys, is, wow, dude, I was so happy. I was so happy that Ghost of Tsushima was getting a PlayStation 5 upgrade. I didn't care about the cost. I really didn't. I mean, like, yeah, it sucks that we got to pay $10 for that, but at the end of the day, Ghost of Tsushima was getting a PlayStation 5 upgrade. My expectations, boom, through the roof. Were they met? No. Nope, they were not met. With the PlayStation 5 enhancement, no, they were not met. With the DLC, I thought it was fine. Like, it was a great story. I'm glad that it was highly focused, highly crafted, story content. Like, that really makes me happy. Every single character in the game looks different. I love the attention to detail that they put into the characters. But we should have got a higher resolution texture pack for that game. There's no excuse for the lack of there's no excuse for that. For the price that they charged me for 3 hours, it's $10 an hour. For the price that they charged me for that DLC and that upgrade, yeah, dude, I kind of expect more. Like, it's PlayStation, the greatest. Remember, the market leaders, the ones that can never do any wrong, that cannot put out some. This is their PlayStation 5. This is their next gen console. This is the thing they're trying to sell you to make you believe that this is way better than the competition, and this is way better than anything they've done before. Then prove it, Sony. Prove it. Put out a freaking high resolution texture pack for Ghost of Tsushima. Don't charge me another $10 for that. Put out more content, for Ghost of Tsushima, like some more story content, something bigger, to justify that $30 you just asked me to pay for it. I mean, I do think the update, I do think it's fine. Like, it is what it is. I did enjoy my time with that. But this is me, being real with how I'm feeling about Sony these days. And, like, I don't know, man. Like, I do not understand how PlayStation can do this to us repeatedly, and we just sit back and defend it. Like, why on earth would anybody defend this right now? Like, they are not. I do not believe PlayStation is firing on all cylinders right this moment. I don't. Like, this PlayStation 5 is way more powerful than the PlayStation 4 Pro. And Ghost of Tsushima PlayStation 5 looks just a tad bit better. Just a tad bit better than it did on the PlayStation 4 Pro. But it does run at 60 frames a second. So if you're asking me if this is really what the PlayStation 5 can do, well, hey, Jim Ryan himself said he would let the games speak for themselves. There you go, man. It looks a little bit better than it did on the PlayStation 4 Pro. A way more inferior machine running on a way more inferior freaking technology. Wow, Jim. This is really what we're speaking. Like, yeah, let the games speak for themselves, man. Let them speak for themselves. I have yet to see something that's completely blown me away on your PlayStation 5 at your higher price. So, yeah, that's how I'm feeling about this right now. I'm a little disappointed. I wanted to be able to take off the, I wanted to just be able to sit down while I'm in quarantine again and just play through this game. But I mean, to tell you the truth, man, like, yeah, I'm going to play through it. I started a new game plus, so I'm going to keep playing it, but yeah, dude, I don't know. I'm not happy with how they shortchanged us on visual upgrades for Ghost of Tsushima. I am, like, I'm a little disappointed about that. And I'm not trying to, like, sit here and start, like, no freaking stupid console war, because I don't really care about that shit. I care about getting good quality for what I'm paying for when it comes to PlayStation. And that's all I care about. I don't care about, well, Xbox does better, PlayStation. I don't care about that stuff. I want a solid freaking, experience for my money, man. I work hard for my money. And then PlayStation wants me to give it to them for an experience. I want them to deliver on that experience. They charge me $10 for a bare minimal upgrade. I mean, who, like, some people might enjoy the Japanese lip sync. I'm not gonna play it like that. I mean, yeah, it might add some flavor to the game, but I'm not gonna play it like that. I could care less about that. The haptic feedback, dude, that should be included with the PlayStation 5 purchase, man. Like, it should. Like, I don't understand the reasoning behind all these upgrade fees for these games. So that's my 2 cents. If you like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.